Psalm 93, God's eternal and majestic reign. Psalm 93 is a powerful proclamation of the Lord's eternal sovereignty and majesty. Though brief, this psalm presents a vivid contrast between the stability of God's reign and the chaos symbolized by the natural world. It opens with the emphatic declaration, "The Lord reigns," establishing the central theme, God is King, enthroned above all creation. He is described as being clothed with majesty and strength, indicating not only his divine authority but also his active power in sustaining the world. The imagery of God girding himself with strength conveys readiness and might, like a warrior preparing for battle. Because of this divine strength, the psalm affirms that the world is firmly established, it cannot be moved. This suggests that God's rule brings stability to the entire cosmos. Creation itself is secure under his governance. The psalm continues by declaring that God's throne is established from of old, affirming that his kingship is not a recent development but eternal. He is from everlasting, underscoring the timelessness of his authority. Unlike human rulers who come and go, God's reign has neither beginning nor end. This eternal aspect of God's rule reinforces the trustworthiness and enduring nature of his power. In the middle of the psalm, the tone shifts slightly with the introduction of the floods. The floods have lifted up, the psalmist says, emphasizing their rising force and noise. In biblical poetry, floods and tumultuous waters often symbolize chaos, danger, and opposition to divine order. The repetition of the phrase, "the floods have lifted up," emphasizes the apparent threat they pose. However, this imagery is not meant to suggest that God is under siege. Rather, it sets the stage for the following verse, where the psalmist affirms that the Lord is mightier than the roaring waters. The Lord on high surpasses even the most powerful and chaotic forces in nature. This poetic contrast between the noise of many waters and the quiet, steadfast power of God reveals the futility of any challenge to his rule. The psalm concludes by returning to the reliability of God's word and the sanctity of his dwelling. "Your testimonies are very sure," the psalmist writes, affirming that God's decrees and promises are trustworthy and unchanging. In a world where human words often fail and kingdoms rise and fall, God's word stands firm. Moreover, holiness adorns his house. His presence is marked not just by power but by moral purity and sacredness. The phrase, "O Lord," forever ties the final verse back to the theme of eternal kingship, closing the psalm with a note of reverent awe. Overall, Psalm 93 is a profound meditation on the supremacy, permanence, and holiness of God. It calls the reader to recognize that in the midst of turbulent forces, whether literal or symbolic, God remains sovereign. His power is unmatched, his rule is eternal, and his word is dependable. In just 5 verses, the psalm offers both comfort and awe, reminding believers that their faith rests in a God who reigns forever, unshaken by the chaos of the world.
Psalm 93. The Lord reigns, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed, he has girded himself with strength. Surely the world is established so that it cannot be moved. Your throne is established from of old. You are from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O Lord, the floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their waves. The Lord on high is mightier than the noise of many waters, than the mighty waves of the sea. Your testimonies are very sure. Holiness adorns your house, O Lord, forever.